Let's go to Anita Young in the newsroom, our senior markets correspondent, with a pretty big update on that Microsoft story. The other one, we've got AI, of course, the big one, but also their Activision deal, and it looks like we are really now kind of crossing the threshold of this getting done.
It has. It's significant information coming this morning from reports, and this is why both stocks are higher. The FTC had reportedly paused its antitrust case that would block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Try saying that 4 times. But it would be a significant victory. This is the largest ever gaming deal that would happen, and this case was expected to go to trial in August. But both companies had requested the FTC to withdraw. The FTC also recently lost a federal court bid to prevent this acquisition from happening, right? And then recently, 22 Republican U.S. House members, they urged the FTC to abandon its case against Microsoft. They argued that this deal will expand consumer choices, right? And also, back on Wednesday, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard did extend their merger agreement to October 18th to give themselves more time to negotiate with UK regulators who have yet to come around right now. Now, they vetoed the merger back in April, but regulators, they say they're more concerned with the acquisition's impact on the cloud gaming market, of course. However, they agreed to give Microsoft a second chance to offer some sort of a remedy, right? And so, meanwhile, once this case is withdrawn, if the FTC fully withdraws it, Microsoft and Activision Blizzard could try to convince the FTC commissioners to accept a settlement, or they could drop their opposition to the deal entirely. So we won't know what happens in the moment, but this is something we'll definitely be watching. Also important to note that Microsoft has earnings coming next week, so we'll find out if Microsoft has any announcements to make then.
Yeah, it's going to be big, as this has been sort of a secondary story to the main market catalyst for Microsoft, but a huge, the end game for Activision. So been very important to that stock and all the source of volatility there. Nice to kind of finally get to some conclusion, it feels like. But the AI story may be getting more complicated as all the big giants are in DC making a pledge. So no laws yet, but they promise to be nice.
No laws, and they're not even bound to this pledge. They don't have any consequences yet if they do not withhold the standards of the pledge. But let's talk about what it's about. First off, it's Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta. Those shares, of course, they're all higher. They signed a pledge, an AI pledge, along with OpenAI, and this is all about safety, security, and trust. That's what the White House is billing this as, right? So they've agreed to make a series of promises to the White House to address any of the risks that are posed by artificial intelligence investments. And one of these things include investments in cybersecurity. It includes discrimination research and a watermarking system that'll inform people when content is AI generated. That's key because we've already seen several different mistakes that might be detrimental to business that people have been claiming as either their own research or they've been wrong with AI research. And so it's important to know whether or not something is generated by AI. And so these companies were reportedly not pressured into doing this. And just as I said at the top, currently, there are no consequences to if they break this so-called deal, right? But stay tuned, because my spidey sense tells me that regulators will try to regulate this somehow, because how can they not? It's coming out of the White House.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of seems like a bit of a prelude, to kind of set the stage and see how well they abide by it. Will be nice to get those notifications, what's real and what's not, though.
Yes.
It's always convenient to kind of know if you're in reality or not. Thanks, Renita. Appreciate it.
Of course.